If you don't know where you're headed in life, you're going to end up somewhere you never intended to be. And I think that I see this too often in business. People are like, I want to be successful or I want to be this, but they never identify where it is that they really want to be. And consequently, they start doing this through life and they're swerving and they're doing the S curve and they're all over the place saying, well, what the heck? And so the gap analysis is a tool that essentially addresses and takes into consideration where you are current state today. Meaning right now, in my full honesty, this is where I'm at. This is how I'm doing. It then projects where you want to be, where you desire to be, what the goals are, the vision that you have. And then it identifies step by step the process on how you get there. And I'm going to illustrate, I'm going to share a story, Matt. And Matt knows my mom really well. And she passed away about a year and a half ago. And she's one of the most amazing women that I've ever met in my life. And about when she was about maybe 65 or so, she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And it was really challenging for her, and her health wasn't good anyways. And so it compounded many things. Well, she went to the doctor, and the doctor basically said, I'm totally going to paraphrase this, but amidst all the other things that he said, Debbie, you need to lose some weight. You need to lose some weight or you're going to die. Well, what do you think she did? I mean, it would seem natural that she just automatically started dieting and did everything that she could. That didn't happen. And so what she did was she actually went to another doctor, and she got a second opinion. And the second doctor came in, and it's a good family friend of ours. You know, Debbie, here's what you've got. You got type 2 diabetes, and what needs to happen is you need to lose some weight, or there's a high likelihood that you may die. Same story, right? Both of them share the same exact story. But let me tell you what number 2 did. Number 2 asked her what was important to her. And this is so crazy because I don't think he had formal training in the gap analysis or something, but he asked her what was important to her. My kids are important to her. My family's important to me. Staying alive is important to me. And he was intuitively picturing what that future would look like for my mom. But the main difference between what that Dr. 2 did to Dr. 1 was he said, and here's where we're going to start. And he laid out tiny little baby steps for my mom based on meeting my mom where she was current state. And here's why it was so important. Matt, if I told you needed to lose 150 pounds today, or you're going to die, do you think you would just be motivated to go? Well, for my mom, the gap was so significantly big in what she had to lose that it was impossible and she couldn't even do it. So why would I even start? But the reality and the value behind the gap analysis is the ability to project where you want to be, take a look at where you are today, and identify baby steps, micro goals, benchmarks, little ways to get to where you want to be so that you can focus here, not on the end result. So what happened in my mom's story? The doctor started with her here, took the first step. Hey, let's just start walking. Let's start walking a little bit more. Let's start exercising. Let's start doing this. Ultimately, the result was my mom got off of glucophage and type 2 diabetes because she was able to achieve this goal that the doctor had set with her. That's what the gap analysis does. That's what the gap analysis is intended for. So Matt, help our viewers and listeners apply that to what they're doing every single day because business is hard.
Yeah. So there's two different thoughts that went through my head as you're kind of describing the gap analysis. The first being agents that are just starting out. And I thought of myself first starting out, and I don't know what I was comparing what to what. I was going out there and someone told me to set 2 new appointments a day, and that's all I needed to focus on. I've seen people start out in the business where they're like, you just need to do these seminars and just do the seminars and that will work. At the beginning, you just got to go for it, right? You're just giving it your all. You're doing what you need to do. The mistake I see that most people make, though, is they don't start recording any type of analytics at the beginning. And you don't have to be sophisticated. You can just track it on a piece of paper. You can track it on an Excel spreadsheet. If you want to get crazy, there's a software that can do that for you, ish. And then you get a little better. And what I would say is important about tracking that data is as you get further along in the business, you start recognizing where your weak parts are. And I would say this, and other agents, advisors, feel free to disagree or, make some comments or send me information. But most advisors, we kind of lie about what's really happening in our business. And most of the time, because we don't know the actual numbers. And I'll have people say, I know my numbers, and then we'll get into it. And they don't really. It's very rare that someone actually knows their numbers. Now, those who do, great, but they're the outlier. They're 1 out of 500 agents that we talk to, right? But what are your actual numbers? And what I mean by that is, how many people do you talk to set an appointment? How many seminars do you have to do to get so many appointments? How many, people have to show up at your seminar or sign up for your seminar? Whatever the analysis is that's important for you to track, whether it be seminar or leads or referrals that you have to ask, know what that number is. So to me, that's the starting point of the whole gap analysis, is getting a true identity of where you're really at.